Welcome back, friends, to the annual 5BC Christmas special. You know the deal. Every year we play the same songs and we tell the same jokes. It's good to see you all again. You already know who we are, but since I sometimes forget, I'll say our names anyway. On drums, we have David Pennypacker and Adam Prose. On bass and six-string guitars, we have Ian Kofelt and Davey Boyer. On vocals and the rest of the instruments, we have Harry Mueller, Jack Whitford, and Mike Gable. I'm Mike Gregory, and right here, I'm playing the piano, singing the song we always start off with each year. It goes something like this. We're back home for Christmas. It's where we like to be, playing our show to friends and those who mean the most to you and me. This Christmas season has found us back in each other's company. So let's raise a toast to Christmas time and all the good feelings that it brings. This Christmas season has found us back in each other's company. We're here to wish you a Merry Christmas and all the good feelings that it brings. Merry Christmas from 5BC. Thanks. Can't tell you how good it feels to be back here with all of you, playing good music and sharing good drinks. 'Tis the Christmas spirit to share spirits, I say, and this next song is all about that. It tells of the excitement and joy we get from letting the Christmas spirit get into us so we too can be like Santa Claus and give out presents to loved ones and those in need. But before we play, we're going to start out by telling the same story we always do, and here it is. The day before Christmas, a mailman noticed a letter written to Santa had fallen out of its envelope. He was curious what it said, so he decided to read it. It said, "Dear Santa, I'm too young to have a job, but I really want to make my mom happy by taking her out to eat. Please give me $100 so I can take her somewhere nice." The mailman smiled after reading this and really wanted to help Santa make this wish come true. So he reached into his wallet and pulled out all the money he had and stuffed it in the envelope. On Christmas morning, the little kid who wrote the letter found an envelope from the North Pole in the mailbox. In the envelope was $50. The kid couldn't believe it, and he ran back into the house. About a week later, while delivering the mail, the postman saw another letter addressed to Santa Claus. This was pretty unusual, as Christmas was already over. But the curiosity got the best of him, and he decided to open it and see what the letter said. It read, "Dear Santa, thank you so much for sending me money to take out my mom. She was so happy that she cried on our way to the fancy restaurant." The mailman smiled and almost shed a tear himself. He noticed something scribbled at the bottom of the letter. It said, "P.S. Next time send a check. The mailman is a crook and stole half of the money." You know that story doesn't get old. All right, here it is. It's our version of what we like to call Out in the Small Shops.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Out in the small shops and in the malls, bags filled up like Santa Claus. We're buying things for those in need, all to put under their Christmas trees. Ho, 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 the spirit grows. Ho, 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 and it's sure to show. Out in the small shops and in the malls, the joy of giving like Santa Claus. First come the presents for the Smiths. Their mom's out of work because she's sick, but we've joined together to pay their bills, to help hold them over till she gets well. Ho, 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 the spirit grows. Ho, 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 and it's sure to show. Out in the small shops and in the malls, the joy of giving like Santa Claus. Out in the small shops and in the malls, the joy of giving like Santa Claus. In soup kitchens are volunteers. They work they donate coats to help all the kids stay warm in the cold. Ho, 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 the spirit grows. Ho, 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 and it sure does show. Out in the small shops and in the malls, the joy of giving like Santa Claus. Out in the small shops and in the malls, joy of giving like Santa Claus. Out in the small shops and in the malls, the joy of giving like Santa Claus. Thank you, thank you. You know, the best thing about the holidays is it gives everyone a reason to get together. There's nothing like sharing a few drinks and catching up with the people who mean the most to us. But as you know, sometimes part of the adventure of the holidays is just trying to make it through the traffic. Well, if this isn't your first time at our annual Christmas concert, you know what joke comes next. Here it goes. A police officer saw a car weaving back and forth on the highway and took off after it. He'd seen this 1,000 times before with people texting while driving, so when he sped up next to the car, he was shocked when he saw a little old lady knitting while she was driving. He rolled down his window and started yelling at her, "Pull over, pull over." She rolled down her window and said, "No, it's a scarf, you moron," and sped away. All right, there you have it. Here's to having a safe trip home. And here's to our version of "There's no place like home for the holidays." Thank you, friends. You know, that's so true. All right, as many of you know, I'm a father, so I can't help but to insert a dad joke here. And then, unfortunately for you, it's the same dad joke every year, so it gets even more groan-worthy with each season. You've heard it a million times before, so here it goes. At Christmas time, what do Canadians say to the Pillsbury Doughboy? Hey man, nice tan. It's even worse than it was last year, isn't it great? Well, this time of year it gets so dark and so cold it can make you wish for the good times to be had in the upcoming spring. And that's what this next song is about. It's usually called Walking in a Winter Wonderland, but for our version we call it Dreaming of a Summer Wonderland. Enjoy.
1, 2, 3.
Like those ring while you're listening. In the sun, the ocean glistens. It's a beautiful sight, the warmth of the light. Dreaming of a summer wonderland. Gone away is the snowboard, but here to stay is my surfboard. I'll whistle a song as I swim along, surfing in a summer wonderland. Sand will build a castle, watch the waves as they knock it down. We'll be on blankets, watching the sun go down. At night at campfires, we'll stay up until we're tired. With no plans for the day, we'll sleep in late, sleeping in a summer wonderland. At the lake, the water's chilly. In the heat, it's a good feeling. We hike and we play as the trees give us shade. Walking in a summer wonderland. On our bikes, we go riding. In the park, the kites are flying. We go for a walk, bare feet, no socks. Strolling in a summer wonderland. We can look at some ice cream. Have a drink, wash it down. Then at night, we'll watch a movie. Under the stars with no clouds. And at night around campfires, we'll stay up until we're tired. With no plans for the day, we'll sleep in late, sleeping in a summer wonderland. With no plans for the day, we'll sleep in late, dreaming of a summer wonderland. With no plans for the day, we'll sleep in late, dreaming of a summer wonderland. Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it. You know, the holidays are full of spirits. The Christmas spirit, the Holy Spirit, and yes, the spirits you find in bottles. You know where this is going, right? You guessed it. It's time for that joke. Here it is. A minister was driving down from New York and was stopped in Pennsylvania for speeding. The state trooper smelled alcohol in the minister's breath and saw an empty wine bottle on the floor. He asked, "Have you been drinking?" The minister replied, "Just water, sir." The state trooper said, "Then why do I smell wine?" The minister looked down at the bottle and said, "Good Lord, he's done it again." There you have it. Well, there's no sense in slowing the party down. You know what we're going to play next. This song goes out to all of our Latin friends. It's our version of Holly Jolly Christmas.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's a fun time of the year. Say hello, we're telling jokes. I'll fill your glass with cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas. Join our friends and family. Come unload, I'll take your coat. We've got plenty of food to eat. We've hung up the mistletoe and lit the Christmas tree. Underneath's a gift for you. I see one for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas. Let's fill our glass with cheer. Let's by golly have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Have a holly jolly Christmas. Everyone is here. We've got the music playing loud so everyone can hear. Have a holly jolly Christmas. Eat some candy. And if you're feeling tired, we've got some hot coffee. We've hung up the mistletoe and lit the Christmas tree. Underneath's a gift for the Christmas party conga line. Woo! We've hung up the mistletoe and lit the Christmas tree. Underneath's a gift for you. I see one for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas. Let's spread some love and cheer. Yes, by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Thank you. That one's always a lot of fun. And all right, as you know, every year we like to show our love and appreciation for the South. The weather's a little warmer, the tradition's just as fun, and the food can't be beat. You know, eating all that good food helps Santa stay fat. And what better way to show our love for Santa Claus than to tell some fat Santa jokes? So here they are. Santa Claus is so fat, the elves thought the back of his neck was a pack of hot dogs. Santa Claus is so fat, his belly button doesn't have lint, it has sweaters. You'll never look at Christmas sweaters the same way again, will you? Santa Claus is so fat, when the elves said it was chilly outside, he ran out with a spoon. And for the one we always end with, Santa Claus is so fat, when he fell over in the snow, he rocked himself to sleep trying to get back up. There you go, friends. You know those jokes mean it's time for our song about Boudreaux, the Cajun reindeer, who saves Christmas by cooking up some good Southern food. Here we go.
1, 2, 3. Hey, 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 hey. Ha, ha. Woo! Hey, 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 hey. Ha, ha.
Boudreaux, the Cajun reindeer, lives in the swamps of LA.
Yeah.
That's where he chose to retire, so he could fish and cook all day. While all the other reindeer are living at the cold North Pole. Boudreaux soaks up the sunshine, rowing in his pirogue. On one freezing Christmas Eve, Papa Noel stopped to say, Boudreaux, I'm as cold as ice. Do you have something to keep me warm at night? Boudreaux fixed up some gumbo and a crawfish pie. He said, don't forget St. James Parish. They've lit up a big bonfire.
Hey, hey. Hey, hey.
Boudreaux went back to cooking, dancing to Zydeco. That's when he heard some knocking and went to see who it was now. When he opened his front door, he was really glad to see it was Gaston, the green-nosed alligator, there to keep him company. On this pleasant Christmas Eve, the friends did celebrate and raise a toast to all their hopes for peace on earth someday. Boudreaux and Gaston cheered as they lit the cypress tree, wished each other Merry Christmas, and both dozed off to sleep. Thanks very much. Thank you. Now, just like every year, we're going to keep the Southern warmth going for one more song. But first, our one and only Christmas joke about the South. On Christmas Eve, a Yankee walks into a bar down south, and there's a little nativity scene on the bar. The Yankee says, "That's a nice nativity scene, but how come the three wise men are wearing firemen's hats?" The bartender leans over and says, "Well, it says right there in the Bible that the three wise men came from a fire." You know, I don't know what's worse each year, the joke or my attempt at a Southern accent. Anyway, here's our take at the Christmas classic, Jingle Bells. I hope you enjoy it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
sing, and we all sang along, singing jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to sing songs on Christmas Day, like jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to sing songs on Christmas Day. We all sat down to eat and stuffed ourselves well. After washing dishes, we sat down on the couch. Grandma opened gifts, she got a jewelry box. We all began to laugh when it opened up. It played jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to sing songs on Christmas Day, like jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to sing songs on Christmas Day. Oh, what fun it is to sing songs on Christmas Day. Oh, what fun it is to sing songs on Christmas Day. Thank you. All right. This next song, well, the original version of it anyway, is one you're guaranteed to hear at a church Christmas Eve service. Now, we in 5BC don't judge, but we're pretty sure some of you out there may be creasters. You know, the people who only go to church at Christmas and Easter. So to dust off your church etiquette, we're going to once again share this cautionary tale of how not to act at church. Listen closely. A boy went to the doctor with 2 black eyes. The doctor said, "Those are really bad. Were you in a fight at school?" The boy replied, "No, I got these at church." "In church," the doctor replied. "How could that happen?" "Well," the boy explained, "we were kneeling at prayer, and when we stood up, I noticed that the lady in front of me had her skirt caught in between her butt cheeks. I thought it looked uncomfortable, so I reached over and tugged it out. She turned around and socked me in the eye." "Well, that explains the one black eye," said the doctor, "but how did you get the other one?" The boy said, "Well, after she turned back around, I thought about it. I figured she didn't like what I had done, so I tucked it back in." Ah, yes. As you know, our version of this song isn't about the return of the Lord. Instead, it's for all of you out there that love winter sports and rejoice in the return of the cold and the snow. This one's for you. It's called Joy to the World.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Joy to the world, the cold has come, and all the lakes are ours. Don't be late, go grab your skates, splitting into teams and playing ice hockey. We'll play and fight right on the ice. Joy to the world, the snow has come. Go grab your sleds and skis. Watch out, everyone, prepare to make room. As down the hill I speed, as down the hill I speed, as down the hill I sled and ski. Joy to the world, more snow has come. Feel up the snowmobiles. Look out, everyone, prepare to make room. As over roads I speed, over fields I speed, down the roads and fields I speed. Joy to the world, more snow has come. Go grab your boots and boards. Look out, everyone, prepare to make room. As down the hill I board, as down the hill I soar. I'll be flying round the mountain when I come. I'll be speeding round the mountain when I come. I'll be flying round the mountain. I'll be speeding round the mountain. I'll be speeding round the mountain when I come. Whew, oh boy, that one is a fast one. Thank you, friends. All right, this next song is the moment you've probably been waiting for. Each year, we hear more and more people tell us that this is their favorite part of the show. As you know, 5BC has 2 drummers. We have Adam Groves and David Pennypacker. They usually switch off depending on who is around and what songs they want to play. This song is the rare case where you'll hear both of them play at the same time. For those of you listening on headphones, Adam will be the drummer on the left,
Hey, everyone.
and David will be the drummer on the right.
What's up?
Before we let them play, we can't let them go without a drummer joke. A guitarist and 2 drummers were climbing Mount Everest. Then they fell down into a crevasse. All of them managed to hang onto the rope, but it was clear that the rope couldn't hold them all. They decided that one of them would have to let go. The guitarist said, "Okay, I'm only a guitarist. There are so many guitarists out there, but so few drummers. The music world cannot bear to lose you guys, so I'll sacrifice myself to save your lives." At hearing this, the drummers began to applaud and then quickly fell to their deaths. There you have it, friends. You know what time it is. It's time for our version of The Little Drummer Boy. Here we go. It was a gathering, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, to honor the newborn king, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum. Everyone brought gifts for him, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, to praise and honor him, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, ra-pa-pum-pum, ra-pa-pum-pum. Then a poor boy came, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, with his drum. He said, "Don't be ashamed of me, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, 'cause I don't have money, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum. I have no gifts to bring, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, that are fit for a king, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, ra-pa-pum-pum, ra-pa-pum-pum. But I'll play for you, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, on my drums." And he played. Everyone was dancing, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum. Their feet were tapping, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum. He kept on playing drums, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum. He was playing out of love, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, ra-pa-pum-pum, ra-pa-pum-pum. The king smiled at him, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, in his drum. Thank you. Friends, give it up again for Adam Groves and David Pennypacker.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, like we always do, it's time again to pay homage to the cold, windy city of Chicago. Luckily for us, we're here on this nice, warm stage, so it's easy for us to make jokes about being cold and having a cold. You remember the jokes? Did you hear the Kleenex factory went on strike? Now everyone will have to pick it. Why couldn't the pony talk? Because he was a little hoarse. How do you make your own antifreeze? You take away her coat. You know, after all these years, you'd figure we would have found better jokes. All kidding aside, this is where we get serious and shine a light on those who are less fortunate than us. This time of year, it can be extra hard to make ends meet and stay warm. This next song is all about it. We hope hearing it will help you keep others in mind when you have a chance to help this holiday season. We call our version Away in a Ghetto.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you. All right, it's time to close out our concert with the last two songs. Coming together like this, having drinks, playing music, is really what makes the holidays so enjoyable. The next song, The 12 Days of Christmas, is about another enjoyable part of Christmas, and that's the gifts. Unfortunately for you, our gift to you are the songs we're playing tonight. But that does remind me of our last joke. You know it, and here it is. Darth Vader turned to Luke Skywalker and said, "Luke, I know what you got for Christmas." Luke Skywalker replied, "How do you know?" Darth Vader said, "I felt your presence." Oh, so terrible, but so good. Okay, sit back and enjoy one of our last presents to you. It's our version of the 12 Days of Christmas.
1, 2, 3.
The 12 songs of Christmas you've heard from 5BC are all be home for Christmas, up on the house, up home for the holidays, winter wonderland, holly jolly Christmas, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, jingle bells, joy to the world. Little drummer boy away in a manger, 12 days of Christmas, and we're ending with Auld Lang Syne. Thank you. All right. This is our last song, so please feel free to sing along and join us in looking back at this past year's great memories and welcoming in a new year of great times to come. Here we go. Our old friends are not forgot. They're always close to mine. So let's raise a toast to friends far and close for the sake of old times. So go grab your drink, my friend, and I will go grab mine. And together we'll toast and celebrate for the sake of old times. For the sake of old times, my friends, for the sake of old times. To whom mean the most we share this toast for the sake of old times. We both had laughed when times were good, and together we shared our trials. And since have spent some time apart, how quickly time passed us by. We both have worked from day to night as we built up our own lives. Yes, time and distance has kept us apart. How quickly time passes by. So for the sake of old times, my friends, for the sake of old times, to mean the most we share this toast for the sake of old times. And for the sake of new times, my friends, for the sake of more time. To the past, the present, and years ahead, let's toast to more good times. To the past, the present, and years ahead, let's toast to more good times. To the past, the present, and years ahead, let's toast to more good times. Thank you, friends. You really are the best. Thank you again for making us part of your holiday tradition. All of us in 5BC wish you a healthy, happy, and safe holiday. To our friends here in the audience, we're going to continue the party off stage in a second. And to all of our friends listening on speakers right now, we wish you a Merry Christmas. Or as we like to say in 5BC, Merry Swigmas to all, and to all a good time. We'll see you later.
Hey, this is Ian Kofeld wishing everybody a happy Christmas.
This is Dave Pennypacker wishing you a Merry Christmas.
Hey, this is Mike Gable wishing everyone a Merry Christmas.
This is Davey Boyer wishing you a cozy, festive, and Merry Christmas.
Hey, this is Adam Groves. Everybody, Merry Christmas.
Hey, this is Jed wishing you a Merry Christmas.
Hi, this is Harry Bueller wishing everyone a Merry Christmas.
And finally, I'm Mike Gregory, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas. Until next time.
I'm Davey Boyer, the guitarist for 5BC,
I am Mike Gregory, vocalist, 5BC.
and we're going to answer some questions about the Christmas album. First one, why record a Christmas album?
Well, why not, really?
Right?
You know,
Yeah.
everybody does a Christmas album. Everybody loves Christmas too, right? So we decided to take put our spin on all of the popular favorites.
Yeah, and the Christmas time albums is kind of how we started out, doing the Jack Christmas albums. That's how
Yes.
that's how everything started.
Yeah, it's kind of like a full circle kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, all those years ago, 20 years ago, we make Jack Christmas. 20 plus years ago, we
Yeah.
make Jack Christmas. We send it off to Jack, and
And now he's
Here we
on this
are.
album too.
he
So-
is. Yep.
And the other thing about that is you think of out of all the holidays, right? So in America, the good old USA, what is the most musical holiday?
Christmas.
There's nothing else that compares with it, right?
Not at all. Not at all.
So it only made sense for us to do that. All right, second one. Why choose different styles for the different songs?
Well, each song is so different. I mean, they all actually come from, historically different.
Like
they have a
different
different
countries and all
country. Yeah. So it's a very kind of global thing. So it didn't, I think, make sense to keep it just strict. Keep it all rock or keep it all, pop or something like that.
Yeah.
It makes sense to mix it up because we have such a variety of songs and a variety of history behind each song to keep that alive in the different genres that is reflected.
That makes sense. And to me, it was thinking about that. I thought that with us, we play the same three chords and say all of our songs sound alike. So here, but not everybody listens to the same music, and also we have some talented people with different backgrounds on in the band. So it's like, why not explore and show? Here's all these different areas within that we're capable of. We don't always do all those genres, but it's like, okay, well, we can do this if we want to. So that was that as far as mixing up the different styles and all that, and also to make it a variety. I mean, if most people on their when they listen to music, listen to everything.
They do.
So, and that's one of the best things about Christmas music, right? I love the Christmas music because it's different genres bouncing around. So it's not like you get burnt out after an hour of listening to, one style. It's like you can have swing one moment and then the next moment pop, and then you can have the 50s rock and roll, and that's what I like about the Christmas. It kind of mixes it up,
It's true, yeah. Every just about every Christmas album you pop in, CD or playlist, whatever you do, you get the full mix.
You have your Justin Bieber, and then you have the next song is Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry, exactly.
So it's kind of that. All right, so then the question is, why not keep the lyrics original? So.
Well, I think we could, because we all know the original lyrics, right? Mm-hmm. So when we decided to do this, we decided not only to mix up the genres and to kind of spread things out, so to speak, in that way, but kind of tell our own stories using those same songs that everybody's familiar with. So you're familiar with the melody, and you're familiar with the with the spirit of it, but now we're going to tell a slightly different story.
Yeah, and to me it was more of it was a lot like that. It was kind of like, okay, let's keep the sentiment but make it relevant. Mm-hmm. In the sense of being like, okay, so we'll take a look at one of the songs on there is Jingle Bells, right? When was the last time you were dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh?
Right.
Nobody in 2000, in what, the 1900s past or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, it goes
120 years of
has ever been in a one-horse open sleigh. But as far as the lyrics that we got, driving through the snow. Well, we've done that before, and the same thing with you think of the last song, Old Lang Syne, right? Some of the lyrics in there, you think tarrying. I don't know exactly what they are, but it's sort of like tarrying through the fields or whatever. Nobody does that. And what does Old Lang Syne or Old Lang Syne mean? What does that mean?
It means
for the sake of old times.
Old times, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, why not make that more relevant? So that's kind of the idea of why we switched up the lyrics. And the other, I guess, what kind of goes on with the earlier thing is, so on this album, which is different than just about the other album that we officially released, and then the second release, which was 114 songs, right?
Right.
Is why not just keep it to our normal 5BC thing of guitar, bass, and drums?
Well, that's always the foundation, right? But when we mix up the genres, when we decide to do that, then it's it lends itself to adding those other instruments. Just like you said before, we've got some we've got
Different
some talent.
backgrounds,
We've got lots of backgrounds. Let's explore those as well. Rather than keep it
Well, yeah, you yourself, you played, some brass instruments, and you've done a ton of stuff, right?
Yep.
And same with Ian.
Ian.
That was his foundation, his start in music.
Yep. Mm-hmm. He
And
played brass.
yeah, all of us have different talents that we just when we play, when we normally play, it's just, hey, we got some beers in our hands. Let's play the simplest thing we possibly can.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good avenue to explore. And to get people involved into different things that they normally don't when we get together. And that brings up the next thing. Okay, how did we choose the songs?
That's a good one. How did we choose the songs?
All right, I'll tell you.
You tell me how we chose the songs.
So the songs were more of familiar, something
They really
that
are.
It's like the classic. Easy. All right, you listen to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Everybody knows these songs.
Jingle Bells, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Walking in a Winter Wonderland. It was more of what is what is something that everybody would know. And also, okay, you listen to the songs and figure if we're going to explore into different genres and what we're going to do, what would work for that song? For instance, you take a look at Walking in a Winter Wonderland, right? So for me personally, I do not like the winter. I like the spring and summer. If that could stay all year round, I'd be happy. But, we're thinking, okay, well, for our version, it's Dreaming of a Summer Wonderland.
Yep.
So we think, okay, well, what would go with summer music? Well, ska, right? Something like that. So it's like, okay, so that's how you mix up the genres with that.
Exactly.
What's familiar and what songs could work with the different genres that we wanted, to kind of go with and all that. So, why did we put an audience in this?
Well, that we've been doing that for a while.
Yeah. Our second release of
The
114
115 songs. It was, there's something about the continuity, of the whole kind of a whole stage show. There's an energy to it, and to try to emulate that in a recording and to make it feel like it's a complete,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I always liked some of my favorite genres of music go back into the 70s when concept albums were huge because they were a complete piece of something. I mean, it was a piece of art, the entire album, from start to finish, you know? And yeah, there were standout singles always, but you really are meant to put that thing on and play it from start to finish and listen to the whole thing.
And in today's day and age, that never happens. The album, they say the album's dead, right?
The album is dead. No, we're back. I guess music started back rock and roll back in the 50s.
Yeah.
When that started, it was
It's all
very
the singles.
single driven, and it has come back to that now. Everything is very single driven. I think maybe we're just starting to see a little bit of a resurgence of like a concept type album.
now again, but you know that I think kind of hit its peak in the '70s and early '80s, and I always liked that. I always liked the full, complete album where you listen to the whole, 50 minutes of it, start to finish.
Yeah, and that helps out. And the other thing is, I was thinking about, okay, so if we're going to do a show, a lot of the things that kind of inspired me and the things that I like are like the original, Bing Crosby Christmas shows before TV and all that. It was an event.
Yeah.
It was, the whole thing. You would listen to, the audience was in there, and they had a few jokes in there. It wasn't just song after song after song. It was, here, we're going to play this song. Here's a little skit. We're going to go into this song. It's a Christmas concert.
It does. It really does. It feels like those like you said, Bing Crosby Christmas specials. It's a whole event.
And why do one or two songs if it's like, well, we could just do one song, because we did. We have our original 5BC, songs. So we figured, okay, let's do an entire Christmas, So the other thing is, what do you think is the strongest part of the album?
I think what we just talked about. I think the strongest part is that it is continuous.
Okay.
I think that's the strength of it. The full, the entire body of work, that it is not just a collection of songs, that it is a full, an event, so to speak, start to finish presentation.
Something that you put on and you just can listen to.
To it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
For me, I think some of the strongest parts were the everything else besides the guitar parts. But I think the thing that sticks out to me is the bass parts. That and I'm not the bass player, but the bass parts really, I think, took us to a next level, because they're not just a single like eighth note playing, for the bass, and it really helped the genres. And I think the drums are awesome on it, and musically stretching out too, basically saying, hey, so whether Ian played trumpet, whether you played trombone, or all that, or whatever else, let's the other aspects I think are what make it strong. And I think the having the songs and the jokes and all that stuff just kind of goes along with what we as 5BC are, because when we get together, it's basically we'll play songs, but then part of the fun and experience is we're having some beers, we're talking about what's going on in life, and just joking in between. So yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
And I guess the last part that we'll put in is any favorite songs.
We're no stranger to like writing songs about how much we enjoy getting together and spending time with each other and playing music and
having some
drinks and all that. We've written songs like that before. I think that's why I like For the Sake of Old Times.
Yeah,
because it's very much like that. That
it's like every other song that we wrote.
Well,
it's about him or having some drinks.
Yeah, right.
Getting together.
That's why I like. Yeah, because that's what it's been all about.
Yeah.
From the beginning. Mm-hmm. So it's I don't know, that's one that sticks out for me, because it does, now we're able to
yeah
to continue that message in a holiday spirit.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why I like that one.
I think mine, my favorite on that is Boudreaux,
oh!
the Cajun Reindeer.
Story songs are the best, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, we have some story songs too.
We have
some story songs out
Boudreaux
there. Boudreaux
is a new take on a family favorite, right?
Yeah, right.
Yes. And still can be a family favorite.
Oh, seriously.
But I like that one because it's got the rock and roll vibe to it, and yet it still has a new kind of genre, with the Cajun type music, which we don't really dabble into too much. Yeah. That is to me. So my last and final question goes back to the first. We'll reverse this, do a circle here. So why exactly did we do an album that nobody really cares to listen to and nobody will listen to?
Because we
wanted to.
wanted to. We like doing.
Yeah.
I mean, we have too much fun to not do it. I think so.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of like, why? Because we're the only ones that are going to listen to it. But it's why not? Because it gets us together. Because if it wasn't for, I guess, the holiday spirit and drawing us together and everything, and putting together an album, it helps draw everybody together. Helps me see Ian. Helps me see you. Helps, all of us get into the same room again and just rock out and have a good time.
Well, and I can tell you this: all of our families are going to be, I think, happy to listen to this one.
Exactly. And yes. Now I thought out of all these years, I started getting into music when I was 14 years old. Right. All these years, my parents were, because when we write songs and music for ourselves. Because when we get together, we drink beers and laugh at our experiences in our 20s.
Do we laugh at those experiences?
And in our 30s, whatever it is, it's sort of like, here's something ridiculous. But it's really us. We never play live shows. We never do any of that. Because it's us hanging out, laughing about our experiences together, right?
Yeah.
So here is a perfect, album for my dad to listen to, for my nieces, my nephews.
Yeah, the kids can
listen to it. And it's like, hey, listen, this is perfectly fine.
Oh, my mother will be so thrilled that she won't have to turn this off.
Really?
She's Michael, why? Why, Michael, do you say that language? I'm like, there's no language.
What are you talking
There's no
about?
language. We're telling a story.
Yeah, that's just part of the story.
Maybe you don't like the story.
So really, it boils down to we're making this album for our parents.
That's right. This album is for you, Mom.
All that money spent on music lessons, all the time taking us to music practice, all that stuff.
It's for you.
It's for this right now.
Full circle, 25 years later.
Yeah.
Here we go.
This is to mom and dad.
To Mom
right?
and Dad.
Was it Merry Swigmas?
Merry
right?
Swigmas.
To all a
To all a good night. Woohoo!